total shit.
No matter what you think of this movie, you must praise the artists that worked on it. They have created a beautiful world that absolutely looks photorealistic. The trees, the sky, the mountaintops, the blades of grass, insects, all of the animals, everything looks incredible. And it's impossible to deny the technical brilliance that's on display constantly.
Visually, it's remarkable.
Now don't get me wrong, I will admit the CGI is impressive, and the fur textures and backgrounds look incredibly realistic. So props to the team who did that.
It's visually impressive. Even the locations are very nice, and the lighting, it's just great. It's fantastic in that respect. However,
this film is soulless. Much of the humor and mysticism of the original film has been completely removed.
Guys, in the end, it did feel like it's a Disney cash grab.
You don't really need it. You've seen it. The original is better, but they're just making money now.
This remake is just a shameful cash grab that does the original no justice.
And for some reason, Disney in their infinite wisdom decided to remake the movie.
Well, I mean, I know why. It's going to make $1 billion.
You're correct, James.
Because people don't have taste. Kaboom.
The Secret Life of Pets 2 was a better movie than this hot garbage. At least it was expressive and colorful and kinda funny, and it wasn't trying to turn a beloved classic into such a shameless cash grab.
All the charm is sucked out. And people are like, yeah, whoa, more, I remember it.
But the cynic in me wants to say this is a cash grab because the movie has no soul. It just feels like Control-C, Control-V. There's your new Lion King.
Like, the lions and the animals, they don't actually show facial emotion or expression that well.
They are not showing the level of emotion that the facial expressions show in the original animation. And you can tell there was an attempt to make it look as real as possible. So during the stampede sequence and Simba sees what he sees and he screams no, it just looks like a lion just opening its mouth. And there's no like emotion there.
There was no emotion.
There was no emotion. But the tone.
I can't remember a single moment in this remake where they made Simba look like he was smiling or getting angry or looking scared. He just looks like he's staring at a wall watching paint dry. All of the characters have the same facial expression for almost the entire movie, and it gets really old really quickly.
I feel like if it was animated, if it was considering itself animated, the lions and other animals in this movie would emote a different emotion other than the baseline indifference.
See, most animals in real life don't have expressive faces like humans do, as it's not a method in which they communicate emotion. So to keep a CGI animal looking realistic, you can't squash and stretch the face to express anger, sadness, or joy. It just wouldn't look right. As a result, the characters in this film hold pretty much the same expression throughout the entire film. When Simba is expressing joy, he looks like this. When Simba is expressing fear, he looks like this. When Simba is expressing sadness, he looks like this.
That's a lion's happy face. That's a lion's sad face. That's a lion's confused face.
Well, that was the only part of emotion I got out of this whole damn thing, because there is nothing on their face.
Heartless.
You do not cast people with facial paralysis in movies for a goddamn reason, because you get nothing from it. You get that when they advertised this movie, you saw none of the animals talking. Everything was voiceovers because they knew.
It doesn't matter how talented your voice actors are, if the characters they're voicing look like stiff wooden boards. The emotion doesn't feel real, and the audience just won't connect with them.
For God's sake, how the hell did you make Donald Glover less expressive than Matthew Broderick? I don't know, but they managed to find a way. I'd rather watch Broderick's performance as Inspector Gadget over this. At least his wonky and childish faces gave me some kind of reaction.
You know that scene in the original where Rafiki is absolutely livid in his tree after he hears about Simba's death? Well, you know what he does in the remake? He lets out a tut. I kid you not. He literally goes, yeah, your best friend is dead, along with his only son, and now Scar has taken over the kingdom with his army of evil hyenas, and your reaction is...
It felt like I was actually scared for Simba's life as opposed to the film telling me I should be scared for him. But in this live-action remake during the stampede, Simba just looks completely bored and uninvested in his situation. Kid, you're going to get trampled by a horde of wildebeest. At least pretend to look like you're scared of the looming possibility of death.
Yeah, who is Nala?
Beyonce.
Okay.
So
See,
So she was the same character in Austin Powers as she was in this movie. And
No.
So, yes, she was definitely Foxy Cleopatra.
But no, we have to cast Beyonce as Nala because she's a big-name celebrity, regardless of how miscasted it feels. Seriously, do you really think that the people behind the original movie intended for this character to be associated with a woman who sang all the single ladies?
And they took out Be Prepared and filled it in with some half-ass version of Be Prepared. It's like Be Prepared, that whole song number isn't really in it. There's like half of a Be Prepared song number. Like they were like, oh, fans are mad, Be Prepared's not going to be in it. We'll just half-ass a version of it.
Are you getting where I'm going with this? This movie is a shot-for-shot remake of The Lion King. There's no personality of its own. It's completely predictable in every way. There's no surprises. There's very little that's new. And the things that are new are mostly things that have just been removed or shortened. Like the Be Prepared song, for instance, is heavily shortened.
Spoiler, there's a death in the movie, and no one's shedding a goddamn tear because these things stare at each other with just the expressions of paper.
now everybody's made fun of this scene already, but we're also going to jump in here. Is the moment Mufasa dies.
In the animated film, he displays a look of absolute terror. In the remake, he looks like a cat simply meowing for a bowl of milk.
No longer do we have this great moment.
Ow! Jeez, what was that for? It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
How do you cut out like one of the most important character building moments in The Lion King?
You don't have, hitting Simba on the head with the staff.
It doesn't matter.
It's in the past. But the most important part of that and the cool lesson from it was he tries to do it again and Simba ducks.
Why would I ever watch the live action one again?
They banked so much on the realism of the CGI as its selling point and took a huge shit on everything else. I mean, do we actually even need a remake of this movie? There's little to nothing to improve or fix. It's one of the most beloved animated movies of all time, and for good reason.
What's the point of doing it again if you're not going to add your own spin on it?
To remake such an iconic scene into something so lifeless and lackluster is just unacceptable. The Hakuna Matata scene is like the perfect summary of this remake. It's the exact same goddamn thing, but somehow remade to be boring and unappealing.
Again, I circle back to what's the point? It's unnecessary. It should never have been done. Lion King's a classic.
I mean, Africa's beautiful. It's amazing. This is shit. It's just shit. Nothing about this is better than the original.
This isn't moving forward, this is moving back in time while somehow being stuck in the present. If Walt were to come back to life and see what Disney is trying to do to all of these beloved classics that he helped bring to life, he'd suffer a stroke and die again.